Okay, guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Caminante, where you make your path by walking. So this is a podcast where cultures collide and empires rise. I'm Luis Regalado. I'm an entrepreneur, investor. I manage multiple companies under my belt, and I've been doing that for almost 15 to 18 years. This is my beautiful wife, Tiffany.
I love how you say my name. It's such a pleasure to connect with you guys. I'm Tiffany. I am social media influencer. Now we're known as creators. I'm like, what are they going to call us next?
It's changing so fast.
I've been in the industry 15 years. Absolutely love what I do. Have an incredible team. And we are very excited to bring Caminante to you guys. We're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, cultural relationships, personal growth. I think you guys are going to find so much value here. I know that it's Valentine's Day, so we're going to talk about love and connection today and really how we got here. You guys are going to get to know us a little more.
Well, also how messy can be relationships and the challenges. So we're going to be real. I think that's what it should be about.
Absolutely.
So today we're deep diving into what it means cross-cultural relationships. Whether you are moving to another country, whether you're actually doing for your love partner, right? Or you are just trying to figure out how to deep dive into different cultural differences and you're trying to collide or meet other people.
Absolutely. From funny misunderstandings to deep lessons in compromise, we are sharing our story as well as insights for anyone in intercultural relationships or anyone who's just really trying to understand relationships in this globalized world we're living in.
Love it. So Tiff, let's be real here. So when we met, what do you think about challenges, cultural differences? Did you even think of that? You were like love at the first sight. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. No, I wasn't thinking. I was, when we first met, it was in the office, and here comes blue-eyed, suited up Luis Regalado, and I was like, "Who is that?" Oh boy. And I'm like focused on work because I was a top performer. I was a Pinnacle Award
banker.
Yeah. And I was not going to be distracted by some guy. And here
here you were. Well, I remember this, this Southern Bella, very how do you say, conservative in her own world. So I did think about the different dynamics of how that was going to play in our relationship. Family dynamics, even like personal space, right? Like when you are two different cultures, you can see like ours were, huggy and there's that very warm, right?
Very warm.
And then yours is a little bit more, give me some space. The hugging is not part of it. Actually, that's strange. Even the kisses, right, on the cheek. So I just thought about, okay, how is that going to look like, right? With you, friends and family and all that.
Right. Well, it wasn't just us who had to learn and adjust and broaden our perspectives. It was our families, too. And that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. At first it was everything. It's so funny because at first you see the differences are so beautiful and you appreciate them so much. And then after a couple years, you're like, I cannot stand this. What did I do? But yeah, you're not just blending two people. You're also blending families.
So let's talk about my accent. I mean, was that an issue for you?
No, I mean, the only issue is that everybody always has to compliment your accent.
It's a really a compliment. She's saying it
no,
right
do you
now.
remember
She's
at
saying
that?
it right now just because of camera. Is that what you're saying?
No, do you remember at that? We were in in a Bible study. We were going for our pastoral certification.
Right.
Do you remember that girl?
I don't, but can you remind me?
She was like, we were walking out of class and she was like, this was a Bible class, like to go and be pastors. And she's like, can you just keep talking to me? And I'm like, this is my boyfriend. Like, and she was crazy about your accent.
Well, let me ask you this. So I'll change the question. But thank you, though. I love that. You love my accent.
I do love your accent.
What about like language barriers, like vocabulary? Sometimes I throw some words at you that you don't even... You say like, what's he saying, right?
Yeah. If you're in another room, I cannot understand you. And yeah, we have to be...
Is that similar to that show that you showed me one time? What was the name? I Love Lucy. Have you seen that? You saw it.
Of course. That's my favorite show.
Love it. That was
Ricky Ricardo.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, that was,
oh,
that
and
was so
you
funny.
Totally, I mean, you get frustrated in
right.
the...
So it looks very similar.
What do you say? Do it a little bit.
I cannot say it
Do
live.
it a little bit.
I can.
Oh, okay. It's cuss words?
I don't know. I don't think it's a clean word.
I will say what it is.
No, I don't.
I know what it is.
I know you do, but they're not clean.
It's bad words?
I may throw a few things in there that at the end of the day doesn't end up all clean.
So you're teaching me bad words?
No, sweetie, never.
Okay.
But it's just a culture, you know. That here's where it comes again. It's that cultural.
Right. It's that coño thing.
You said it. I didn't. But yes, the coño is just key,
no, that's not what you say when you're mad. You say other things.
Well, es que coño, it has a lot of meanings.
You told me it means whatever.
In the good sense, depending how you say it, tone of voice, how you
the
look
whole
at the
thing.
person. That's what makes it so interesting.
The
Coño
American
is like everything. It means everything, literally.
Okay, well, in
so
the
how
American...
about this? If I say, coño, the tone of voice raise expresses a little bit more of a different
Okay, so
word.
what does it mean when you do it like that?
Yeah, pee. Cannot say it.
Oh, okay,
but
it's a bad
word. But if I say, coño, sweetie, it's more like, come on, you know?
Oh, okay. So it's not the word, it's how you say the word and the tone and the time and the...
Exactly. Isn't it that interesting?
It's very interesting because in the American culture, we have words and it's very straightforward and...
Cut and dry.
Yeah.
That's the way you guys are.
It's the business world.
Simple, straightforward, don't mess around. Don't say too much words because you confuse me. Just keep it ABC.
I was going to a big business meeting and he's like, remember warmness. Remember warmness. And it's so true though, because it is missed here. I do have to say, and you don't know it until you know it.
Right.
So that's why I think all of our viewers are going to learn so much. And we're just better people because you exist, honey.
Sweetie, come on. You are the one that makes this relationship. You are the star, the shine. You know that. I know you know.
I love it.
But here's what that happened about that meeting, which I love. You know, we spoke about it before you head into it. And in the business world, the cultural differences make a big, big impact. Like when you're talking to Asians, people from Middle East, Europeans, Latins, right? The Americans are very direct, straight to the point. They just want to go and just get it done. And that's just...
Give me the deal, baby.
Boom, done, right? In the other cultures, you got to warm it up. You got to be, welcoming, receive the hosting, you know what I mean? Kind of like, it's a whole process just to sit down to then talk about business.
Yes.
So I believe it's more about, do they feel comfortable to do business with you?
Yeah.
Instead of, probably here in the United States, it's more...
I have 30 minutes.
And we got to get it done.
And we need to sign, seal, and deliver it. But it's true. I learned that so much from you and even from others in the similar culture that there's just a sense of it's warm, but it's deeper than that. It's like I genuinely care how your day is. And I know you want to get to work, but I genuinely want to know how you are.
Right. One of the things that I remember when I came very young to the country, I was getting an elevator, and typically, right, from where I come from, you say good morning, and you cannot try to get a conversation going just to be polite. And I don't know what happened that day, but nobody said hi or good morning, and I was the only one just coming in and good morning, and that's where I started realizing the cultural differences of what I was about to dive in
Yeah.
into this new world, new culture. But putting that aside, what have you learned? How do you embrace all these differences? Because at one point, you embrace them, right? You have to accept it somehow.
I continue to embrace them. Like, I'm
It's a
sure you
process.
do too.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, you've been here since 2000.
Right.
So that's a long time. I mean, you've been here longer than you were in your own country.
Correct.
So do you still feel like you have to embrace?
Yes, because the interesting thing about America is it depends where you are. Either if you're in the south, up north, the west. So, depending where you're traveling or where the individual is coming from, I have to be open-minded to understand a little bit that probably from up north, they may be a little bit more direct, much stronger, that to me, to my palate, is a little bit rude, right?
Right.
Just because
Right.
of how I am built, and but from somebody up there, it's completely understandable. They go.
Yes.
It's fast-paced.
Yes.
They have no time to be saying, excuse me on the
No,
way.
they
Just go.
Yes.
So I do think that having that open-minded to embrace those differences instead of just judging and just going to the conclusion that he's very disrespectful, not tact at all, and lack of manners. I think at one point it gets more to, is it a cultural? Is it just the way that part of society, right, that town or that city is kind of how they are, is the way they're designed? So yeah, I would say probably yes.
Yeah. I think for me, so far, and this is a moving thing
Is
here.
a moving target?
But I would say so far, there has been so much beauty, and I am who I am today because of my relationship, my marriage with you, and there's been so much beauty to that. Equally, I feel like so many challenges, and I don't want to talk too much about this today.
On a different day, right?
Yeah,
better sleep before.
in a different time. But I would say that the biggest challenge that I feel, probably not you, but is the family expectations,
Right.
and the extended family piece.
I can see that.
And
see
I don't
that.
know how much you want to talk about that, but
Well, we can definitely go high level, but
Okay.
I do believe that couples that may be in a similar situation, they also face through the same.
sure.
And today, I know that we talk about, why don't we just talk about that love, multicultural relationship type, because it's Valentine's Day, right? So I think keeping it at a high level, it'll be good,
Yes.
because I know couples, they go through that, especially
Yes.
the ones that have similar dynamics, So how would you describe it, the American dynamic, for example, when it comes to family, when it comes to how you manage that relationship, and with everything else you got going on? I mean, you're a successful business owner, you're an amazing mom, and you just love projects after projects, an amazing wife. I mean, there's a lot of hats that you wear, right? So how do you include the family? Do you like a distance over a phone call? Or because I know that that's a difference between the two of us,
Sure.
and it's real.
Yeah.
Keep it real, baby.
This is such a touchy subject,
Right.
for us right
Right.
now, and I know that eventually it will get
It's so funny.
What was the question, please?
Well, I'll take it. So, for example, from my end, and
that.
especially the culture where I come from. So, you extended families, they are part of it, in the sense of communication is constant. We check on each other. We want to make sure that we do life together. Okay, how you do that with everything else that it gets so busy, and then I'm also responsible of my own nucleus, right? Family, my own kids, my wife. So how do you involve that into that path. Especially when, you may look at it differently. I think that has to be very challenging for a lot of couples out there, don't you think?
I do think so. For me, it's about conserving my energy and putting my energy where the priorities are. And we only have so much time in a day. And, it's what you said. I'm first a wife, and then I'm next a mom, and then I'm a business owner.
Are you a superwoman?
I'm a boss.
You're a boss. You're right.
And then I am a daughter. I'm an aunt, and I'm a sister too. So there's.
There you go. You're a daughter. You're a sister. So that's kind of where the priorities come into play.
Correct.
And how do you keep those priorities on check, so that way you don't lose those relationships either, right? Because they're also part of your priorities, and I think you stated it, which is good.
Yeah, I think that we have to understand what are priorities and what are, a part of the priorities. It's not that being a sister or an aunt, or it's not less significant, but when you look at my day-to-day life and my priorities in this season, where are they? And, where does my energy need to be, conserved for?
Right.
So it's not easy, but...
Well, that's what I mean, and that's what makes it so interesting, when we talk about multicultural relationships, is how do you manage those priorities and what that looks like. So, for example, if I need to say it in the American way, I got to break it down in time. How much time do I allocate, right, to those relationships? Is it once a week good enough to talk to them? Is it once every 2 weeks, once every 2 months? And how much time do I dedicate to those relationships? So the way those priorities are also not forgotten, right? You live only once, and the people that you got around you in that same path, those are the ones you want to allocate time. So I know it's a very interesting topic, and I would love to get the audience at one point engage and see what they're going through, because I don't think it's cut and clear.
Right. And whenever I get stuck and I am faced with just crossroads and disagreements, and I think that we can always go back to God and the outline that He has given us that will help guide, provide peace, clarity, solutions.
Right.
And He has given that to us for situations like this. He has told us we leave the family, we cleave to the new being that He has given us.
Right.
And then He gives us an outline and a hierarchy to follow, God first. And then the next closest thing to God is the marriage.
Right.
The marriage is the closest picture, relationship, earthly relationship that we would have with God. How incredible is that?
That's right.
And then so it's clear for the first few.
Well, but I don't think it's about 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think at the end of the day, it's gonna be how do you manage your 5th priority, your 6th, your 7th.
Right.
And I think that's where it gets, because we keep talking about the first 3, but then you go 4, 5, 6, 7. That they require water. Yes. To water them, so that way they also, stay.
Well, like for
so
my
that's
mom,
the key right there.
my niece, my brother, like we have a weekly call set up. Like on my calendar every Thursday, my niece is 14.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second, you were just 5 years old. Where has the time gone? And the time is going, whether we want to spend time in those relationships or not. The time is going. And we have a responsibility, if we want to, invest in those relationships.
That's
so
right.
I was like, you know what? We can't expect children to carry on a relation, we as the adults or the grandparents or the aunts we need to be investing in pursuing those children and pouring into them, not like waiting around thinking, oh, they're going to come around. No, they're not going to come around.
That's right.
You know, I know that my grandfather, he called me every single night at 8 p.m. for, I don't know, 15 years. We talked every night at 8 p.m. And if it was 8 p.m. and we didn't talk, I was like, is something wrong with him? He didn't call. He's like, I was at Walmart getting groceries or something. But yeah, we anyways, yeah.
So this is what I'm getting, I think, as a conclusion, because I think the family dynamic really took over the whole conversation. Is
it tends to do that.
Is it a phone call enough, depending where you come from, or depending on your background, the gathering, the getting together, the more that contact, that face to face. And I do think that, and I just realized that now, that's where the cultural differences really come into play. Like when you see, like business, right? The warming, the welcoming, I mean, the whole ceremony that you do just to feel comfortable with the individual you're about to get into a possible business relationship. But that warmness and that connection, that connectivity, the hug that we were talking about, the kiss, I think it happens also at those different levels of relationships that we've been talking about. That from my background, I think we value more when I'm not into the phone call. I'm more into, let me see you, right? Let me have that quality time. So for some, a phone call will do it, but for me, that doesn't do it. So that may actually be a big major difference. And I would love the audience really to just, at one point, how do we figure it out to get them involved and engaged in this conversation? Because it's not an easy one. I don't think, and you and I, we've done a lot of work with therapists. We talk with multiple people, and their opinion is going to depend on their own cultural background.
Yeah, what they know.
So anyway, I love it. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about relationships.
I just have to tell this one story because it's so funny. So he took me to Venezuela. He was trying to take me for, I was like, we just met. And he's like, no, I need you to come meet my parents. And I'm like, Venezuela? Like, my mom was like, don't go out of the country.
You get kidnapped.
Yeah.
You will not.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I just feel like I need to go. And so I went, and I was scared.
You were scared. Yes, you were.
But I went, and he's like, let's go to have lunch. And I was like, oh, perfect. I still need to do this. And we got there at we took this thing up. It was a beautiful spot in a mountain, and the country's gorgeous, by the way. Love you, Venezuelans. You guys are so incredible, and thank you for all the beauty and just so many great qualities that you bring to this country and to my life. Sorry for everything that you guys have going on in the country, but so we get going up this mountain, and we get there, and I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm starving. You're going to eat, and we're going to have a great time. So 2.5 hours, 3 hours are going into the lunch. And I was like, and I'm just dating him.
It's just a Saturday. It's just a Sunday.
Like, this is supposed to be a lunch. And then they go for
that's perfect sample.
Coffee. And then they go for dessert. And then they keep going. And literally it was dinner time by the time we left. And I was like,
why don't we tackle the dinner right?
Forget the workout, forget work, forget the phone call, forget anything you had scheduled.
It's the quality time.
You and at the time I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. I just love all the quality time, and
it didn't last too long. It was only the first time.
No, it wasn't. I just think that there has to be, you can't just do that all the time. There's other priorities and responsibilities that you have.
But the weekends, you see, the weekends is kind of where, and it goes back to what we were saying, is It's that quality time. So you hit it right. I mean, how long was that food?
No, it was seriously like 7
like
hours.
2-3 hours.
The lunch? The whole thing?
No, probably like around 3 hours.
The whole thing?
Yes.
No way.
Well, are you
No
counting?
way.
Are you counting the time that you were getting ready and all that? That counts
No,
probably
I'm
7
talking
hours
about the
right
time
there.
that we started going up the mountain. We took that truck. You got
Right.
up. Then you got to remember the time y'all stood outside still talking. I mean, y'all, there wasn't enough inside. We need to stand another hour out here to keep.
Yeah. No, it's
No,
true.
it
it's
was
true.
like
it's
7
true.
hours.
Well, because we took you to a special look. It's not a typical place to go to. So actually, you went to Caracas, just so you know. I'll remind
I
you.
know where I went.
We went to El Ávila. That's a mountain.
Yes, El
It's
Ávila.
not an easy path to get into, so that's not typical.
It was
but
so beautiful. It was
was
literally
beautiful.
out
It
of
was
a dream.
very beautiful, yes.
I can't explain that. You're up in the clouds,
Right.
with green mountains.
And we had to take, how do you call that whatever takes you,
monorail.
a monorail that takes you from the bottom to the top of the mountain.
No, that was not available.
It was not.
So you
That's why
guys,
we
we
took
went
a
in some big Jeep, and I was so
Right.
car sick. I was so sick.
Yeah, that was
I was
rough.
like, when are we getting out? I'm just dating this guy, and I'm so sick.
Yes. But here's the difference then. From your end, because I spent a couple of lunches with you and your family. It's cut and dry.
It is.
It's not full. It's not. It's about what do we eat? Where are we ordering? Let's get it done, and sayonara, bye bye, nice seeing you. So it's much faster.
Yeah, and it feels so weird now.
Right.
You know that
Well,
I
it's
know
just
what
a
I know.
cultural
I know.
difference.
I do understand
It's
that.
different, yeah.
But it does feel
Different.
you're almost like, wait, I need a little bit more. And there's not that. There's not more.
Well, because the people that you love and you spend that quality time with, they are not. Yeah, they won't understand that.
they don't get
You
that.
do because you got somehow, right? I'm not gonna say Venezuelana.
Venezuelanized.
Venezuelanized.
No,
right.
I don't
No,
wanna say that.
you haven't. But definitely that exposure has given you another
Yeah,
perspective.
Yeah, beautiful perspective.
So what's the takeaway? I mean, how do you close this out? Because I heard quite a bit of differences, not only in family,
There's so many differences.
but also in the relationship per se. So embrace it, respect it,
Yeah,
have clear communication, transparency,
set boundaries.
set boundaries. Yeah, that's
with
very
family
important. Yes.
expectations.
Yeah, I mean, let's jump to the positives, right?
Yeah, let's
but,
talk
But before
more-
we do that, it's real. Yeah, it's very challenging to have multicultural relationships. That's true. And even though the other beautiful things, which I would love, by the way, to hear the great positive things
Let's do
about that.
You first.
But at the same time, it's messy. And that's true.
It's messy. That's
Right.
the reality. Okay, go. You first. What's all the beauty?
So what's great about it? Let me see where I can start. So I think, I don't know what kind of level is this podcast, if it's an adult podcast or, but yeah, sex is amazing. You're amazing, baby. I can say that. That's number one.
That's what you're gonna lead with?
I'm going to say that. Two,
great.
you care so much for me.
I do love you.
Yes, you do have that, how do you say, you give yourself away, truly, in the relationship, the majority of times. But you actually make sure that, I'm happy, I'm taken care of. You care for me, which that means a lot. You're a great mom. I like your leadership, As an American woman, I do see that independence, which is awesome. You're a successful, business owner, which translates to drive. The competitiveness that you bring into the table is amazing. Sometimes you want to compete with me. I don't know why. there's no
I
there's
grew
no
up a
sense for
competitive
it.
consecutive
I'm very
national
competitive
title.
too, baby.
Yeah, so it's
Let's
natural.
keep
for
it healthy
me.
then. Let's keep it healthy. But that resilience, I love about your resilience. And the independence, I already said, that drive that you have. And that adds a lot into relationships. It makes it more exciting. So I would say that that's a good summary. You're loving. You got that Southern Bella, which I haven't seen that with other American women. So I think that regional part of it comes into play.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Because that warmness that we were talking about,
right?
I didn't see that before with other people that I met from this country, but I did see it with you, and I still see it. Just keep it up. Don't take that away. That's solid. I think that's a good list, right?
That's great.
What about you?
I think you missed one thing, though.
Did I miss one?
Yeah.
Out of everything I said.
Yeah. And you know what? You were always leading with that. You were like, that's my favorite
and
thing
I just
about
jumped
you.
straight to it. It's just
you went right to sex.
Because you look beautiful.
You went to sex over.
You look beautiful, baby.
Thank you.
Well, I know what I missed.
What?
The godliness that you bring into the table. Amazing. Yeah, I should have led that. I should have led with
You
that.
got excited. You were thinking with something else.
Well, the eyes, yes, that. But yeah, the godliness is important. You're right. Thank you for worshiping every Sunday and just teaching that to the kids. I think it's beautiful. But how about you? I mean, I think that's I gave you a good list.
That
So
was incredible.
let's see what you're gonna come up
And
with.
thank you. That was so beautiful.
Yes,
honey.
go ahead because I want to see what you're gonna come up with.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
I gave you a long list, by the way.
Okay, do we have an extra 30 minutes? Because I
No,
need
you got like around 5. I'll give you 7 if you're cool with that.
Okay.
If you got a good list.
I have an incredible list.
Okay.
Okay, so to start with, your love and your loyalty is freaking unmatched. It is, I was driving down the road the other day and I was like, it is just so great to be loved by him. Like, it's just so solid.
Was it only on the road the other day, or do you think that quite often?
This was like just a moment. I was just having a moment.
That's good. Okay.
And it was like a reflective moment where I was just really grateful for your love and your loyalty and your leadership.
Love that.
It creates a sense of security that allows me to flourish and just thrive in all the areas that you just talked about. So it's very interesting how the partnership allows each of us to... Did I say partnership?
You said partnership,
Anyways.
which actually makes... It is... Sounds about right.
How that partnership within God's design really allows each of us to be our best version of ourselves. So your love, loyalty, your leadership in so many different ways, though. In the home,
Okay.
financially, emotionally, you got that bounce back that's just so solid. Especially, we have a lot of practice. We get a lot of practice with all the challenges. But your bounce back is solid, and I do appreciate that. You're so smart. That should be up at the top, probably number 2.
Yeah, you used to say love and
yeah, I used to call you mini president.
For some reason, the order here is
it's
changing quite a bit. Yes,
Isn't that
is it because we
interesting?
haven't practiced or we haven't said that enough to each other?
I don't know, baby. I think it's been 10 years, and golly, we've raised... Our kids are 3 and 4, and we have just been through it, and we're at a different season.
Well, that'll be a different topic.
Oh,
You scare me.
I'm sorry. Your business, your business acumen and mind. So this one right here, he's so smart. I mean,
You're so
he's a
funny.
mastermind, not just
she's,
at life
she's
and
my wife,
navigating
guys. Just
relationships
FYI.
and all the things, but in business, I mean, he can put the things that we have to talk. We just have to do a whole episode on business.
Well, we'll
And
do. I think after this one, I think I'm
I
gonna
would
love that.
love to talk
It
about
would be
that,
lovely.
and I think it would be so valuable to people,
Yes.
hearing it. I mean, because he has he's a visionary, so he gets an idea, and then the next thing you know, that thing is in motion and in life, and it's thriving, and it's making money, and it's profitable, and And you're like, oh my gosh, that was literally like, it was a seed of a thought.
Right.
It was literally a dream. I had a dream about that hotel that you ended up building on the side of the mountain.
That was crazy.
Okay, so your business acumen and just how you can be successful in all things. I know it's like he's always pulled because everybody's pulling him for solutions, and it's because he literally has all the answers. And just as your wife, that is so incredible.
He has all the answers. Sweetie, are you okay with your hand? It's like my fingers are hurting me.
Am I squeezing you?
Yeah.
I'm fired up right now.
I mean, I cannot move my hand at this point.
I used to do that a lot.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yes, especially sleeping. I don't know what was the deal with the sleeping part of it.
What?
Well, you like to squeeze so much.
Yeah,
and
you
hard
faked me. You
no,
duped
I
me.
never
He used
did.
to cuddle so much. We would be all spooned up. I mean, we literally fell asleep with lips touching.
And then what happened?
And now you want to be on the opposite side of the bed.
Sure, it's a
I'm
space.
like, at least cuddle
I
me.
think that's where I need space.
All of a sudden, after 10 years of marriage, you need space.
I think that cultural part of it, I'm gonna bring that up as a conversation because I've heard from other, people from similar backgrounds. We need space in the bed for some reason. I don't know if it is
Space in the... No, I don't believe that.
I do.
Because you
do.
didn't at first.
I was kind of forced, you were.
Forced to cuddle me? You're crazy.
No, not to cuddle, but you are very, how do you call it?
Affectionate and
Super
it's so
affectionate.
beautiful
It is
because now my
gorgeous.
son is like that.
He is like that.
He is.
Both of them, they are. But Luisito is just
Luisito's
is
super. It's the love languages.
Right.
And physical touch is very real. And it's one of them.
Yours is top. I think it's
Physical
one,
touch.
right?
Yeah, definitely.
Bueno, you can just keep squeezing that hand, sweetie.
It's so weird. I don't even feel like I'm squeezing that tight. I'll hold my own hand then.
You just need some oxygen. That's
Okay,
all what it
let it
needs.
breathe, baby.
Nah, I was just kidding. Just joking. You look amazing today, by the way.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you for doing this with me.
I'm so excited. We finally did this.
So, next topic, business, how to make things work, navigating through challenges, adapting to change. That kind of thing. Is that kind of what it's going to look like?
And what we can do is we can put up a questions box on social media and get some feedback. I know people were asking about even just the basics, honey, like starting up a business, like getting the bank account, the paperwork, it's a process.
It is.
So,
well, we can adapt it to different levels.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
I think as faster we go, it gets more interesting and.
Right.
Okay. Well,
I think the basics are important.
That's what we got to do then. So, any left takeaways? Anything that you think that we should be able to say before we close this?
I would just say keep communicating.
Okay.
And stay curious.
Right.
And stay connected to the source, because even in the challenges, he leads and guides, and he makes all things possible, and that's beautiful.
I agree, and those are beautiful words, sweetie. I gotta say, I would say this. I think stay resilient. Okay,
that's good too.
Because
it's so easy to throw in the towel.
It's so easy, and nowadays, what you see in our culture now, speaking as American culture, is that we like things fast, and as we don't like them, we return them the same way we got them. So it's more like a now type of culture, and I think we're deviating of what's truly important in relationships. It's not a now type of thing. It's not like a quick type of thing. It's a long term.
Right.
And things like that last forever, and long periods of time. They require work,
right,
time. You got to water that plant consistently, and then that's how you incorporate communication and quality time. If you want those relationships to last, they got to be priority, whatever order you want to put them. But at one point, you got to figure out who is truly my top relationship that I want to take care of and protect. Because sometimes we just water other relationships that are not really, they don't last that long.
Yes.
The first difficulty, they just turn around on you, and then you just say, I was just investing so much in that relationship. So stay resilient, look at the long term. There's an amazing book that I read that talk about the kingdom perspective.
Yeah.
And when you look at things from the kingdom perspective, I think things really change.
Sure.
And I'll leave it like that.
I love that. You were spot on. We're used to getting things very easy here.
Right.
So because of that convenience, when hard things come, especially in relationships,
people fly.
We don't know how to push through hard times
Right.
because we're so accustomed to convenience and ease.
Yes.
What's divorce rates in other countries? Is it as high as it is here?
No, actually, I think this is one of the highest, if not is the highest worldwide.
Which is what, like 50s?
Yes, it's over the 50s.
Wow.
It's definitely between the half of the country or a little bit more. So, that tells you that that's even part of the culture.
Right. Well, and I don't want to knock that. Like, there's valid reasons, and it's, for me, it's just understanding.
Yeah, but not half of the country, right?
No,
not a 50% ratio, 51 or 55, whatever that may be.
Right.
There's valid reasons, but the majority of reasons is just divorce has also become so easy to do, right?
Yeah. It's $100 or something
Boom,
online.
you just get somebody, file something, and get it done. Kind of like La Vegas style.
Yeah.
You just marry quickly and divorce quickly. Following day.
Right.
Well, I love you. Thank you for this time. I'm looking forward to the next episode.
I can't wait. That one's going to be amazing. Bring your A game, babe. Teach us.
I think today was the B game.
No, I don't. I think it was
wasn't?
A. Absolutely
Okay,
A.
I'll bring it higher up. Thank you for all your support, for being with us today.
Yes.
And then I'll really look forward to see you in the next episode, right?
I can't wait. We are just starting out, and I'm so excited to be sharing all of these insights, and hope you guys find a lot of value here. That's the whole point of it.
There you go, guys. So this was the Caminante. You made your path by walking, where cultures collide and empires rise. Thank you for watching us. Appreciate it.